Hey family, welcome back to Buzzworthy Veterans. I'm your host, Ant Stroud. Today I have the honor of sitting next to Congressman John Rutherford with the 4th District here in Florida. Today we're going to be talking about the Veterans Armed for Success and what that means for our veterans. Congressman, thanks so much for being here today.
Great to be with you, Ant, and thank you for the invite.
Yes. So this bill, from my understanding, is going to help so many veterans out, me, myself being a veteran. I'm excited for this bill. So before I give anything away, I'd rather hear from the subject matter expert and the man who put this bill together, which is you. So thank you so much. Tell us about this bill.
Thank you. Well, listen, the great thing about this bill is I know it's going to work because it's already working.
Yeah.
It's working right here in Northeast Florida. Operation New Uniform. This bill is really about helping our military veterans transition from their military life back into society and being successful during that transmission. And so that's really what Veterans Armed for Success is all about. It's arming them with those tools that they need to be able to get out of the military and be successful in our community. And Operation New Uniform right here in Northeast Florida.
Yes, we love them.
This is where the bill came from. I was invited, Michele McManamon invited me to a graduation of one of their cohorts, and it was very early on, and what I saw was amazing. And then a year or so later, when I heard their results that they were having, over 95%, I think, success rate in placing veterans coming out of the military into really successful jobs. That's something that I thought we need to replicate that all over the country. And here's the biggest problem that I saw with the program. There wasn't enough money for it. And so they could have, according to Michelle, I think they could have been working with like 3 times the number of people that they were actually able to work with because of their funding restrictions. And so in this bill, we create $10 million for over 5 years, $10 million per year for communities that want to start up Operation New Uniform type operations to help their veterans transition out and provide dollars for those like Operation New Uniform who's already running a program. Give them more money so they can do more with what they're doing.
So they have the capacity to meet the needs of our veterans, but the financing was where we were all slacking in that aspect. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes.
So you, being the great man you are, you're like, you know what? I got some power.
We can fix that.
Yeah, I can do something about that. You got the vision. I got some pockets that I might be able to tap into. So you drafted this bill. How was it received?
Very well. Look, Michelle and the whole group were just great advocates and partners in bringing this bill together and getting it to the floor. And we just got it signed into law by President Trump.
Awesome. That is awesome. I know that bills don't always happen overnight. How long was that from start to finish?
I want to say it was about a 3-year process for this bill.
Wow, that is extraordinary because a lot of times we get so excited when we see things. We see people doing such great things in the community. But to take it to 3 years, that is truly a vision you must feel super passionate about. And you must have seen something in Michelle that you were like, you know what? I believe in what you're doing. I believe in you, and I'm here to support you as best as I can.
Absolutely. And what I saw was the lives that they were changing. Those veterans that they were helping to get good paying jobs so that they could make that transition, take care of their families. It was really amazing work. And they were doing such a good job at it. They were just constrained by their fiscal abilities. And so we needed to fix that.
And you did.
And spread it out.
Yes, share the love, share the love.
Share the love, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I actually have a surprise for you out in the viewing world. We have Nick with the Firewatch sitting side by side with Michelle herself.
Thanks, Ant. I'm Nick Howland, Executive Director of the Firewatch, which of course is Northeast Florida's fight to end veteran suicide. And I'm joined by Michele McManamon, who's the creator and founder and CEO of Operation New Uniform. Michele, thanks for being with us.
Wow, thank you so much. I was listening to what Congressman Rutherford was saying, and I need tissues because it's just 3 years now we've been working on this, and he's such an amazing man and has such a passion for our veterans and the community that just to hear him talk about the work he put into it, and it's just amazing that we're here finally at this point where we can actually grow because of the funding that's going to be available to us.
Absolutely. And with advocates like Congressman Rutherford, we now know more about the extent of the veteran suicide crisis. We're learning more every day. We know that over 6,000 veterans die by suicide each year. It's been that way since 2005. We know the rate is increasing by about 6% every year. We know that the highest rate is among those who are 18 through 34, those veterans, and that is also the rate at which people are transitioning out of active duty to civilian status most every day.
Right.
So we know that is a very vulnerable period, the transition period for veterans. So
That's right.
Tell me how you see that challenge.
Well, we see the challenge, and we're trying to do everything we can to collaborate with organizations like Firewatch,
Yep.
like the USO, name a veteran service organization, and we want to partner with them because we're not the be-all to end-all.
Yep.
Right now, we're able to do things, and we're blessed to be able to help with the transitioning part to help them get these careers. And we do have incredible numbers, success numbers, to back up what we're doing. But there are other organizations that can help in other ways. And I think such a great impact that you just talked about is we have to be careful. These numbers should not be this high for veteran suicide. We have to make sure that people know that these veterans need our help. Now, we're not doing the handout, we're doing, what's that expression? We're giving them a hand up instead of a hand out or whatever, but we're there to help them get these careers. We're not going to get it for them. We're not going to do anything other than get them to the table and help them be prepared and feel confident to get those successful careers.
You're not giving them fish, you're teaching them
Yes,
to fish.
teaching them how to fish. That's right. God is good.
So the Veteran Arm
For Success.
For Success Act.
Yes.
I'm so sorry I screwed that up.
That's
The
quite
Veterans
all right.
Arm for Success Act, which was written and sponsored by Congressman Rutherford and co-sponsored by Congressman Lawson, which is fantastic. It's a Northeast Florida initiative. Tell me how that's going to help you deliver those services to veterans.
It's amazing what it can do to our program right now. We're able to have 5 classes a year, and the max capacity in each class is about 15. At one point, we had about 40 veterans per class waiting that couldn't get into our class. We'll be able to expand. We can just about double what we're doing right now. We're also able to expand our territory because we're doing virtual and live classes.
Yep.
So we're really excited. We've had a graduate in San Antonio, Texas. We've had a graduate in Washington State. Our next class, we have students coming from all over the country. So I am thrilled that we're going to be able to just have the funding to be able to pay our staff and really support our veterans.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Michele, thanks for being with us. And Ant, sorry to have messed up the Veterans Arm for Success Act, but it is the Veterans Arm for Success Act signed by the President in January 2021. Back to you, Ant.
No problem, Nick. Thank you so much, Michele. Congressman, I want to thank you so much for being here today in your office and stopping by. I know you have some great work back in DC ahead of you, but I also know that you remember us here in the community that you serve. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ant. I appreciate that. And listen, if you don't mind, I'd like to add one thing because Nick mentioned something that is critically important, and that is that transition time is a very vulnerable time for these folks. We have the same situation for those who are coming out of our state corrections departments. When they transition from incarceration back into our community and they have severe mental health and addiction issues, we also got a bill signed into law by President Trump. At the same time, Veterans Armed for Success in that transition is families in crisis or crisis stabilization and reentry, so that now we're going to have a warm handoff of those who have mental health and some of these folks are veterans as well.
Absolutely.
But you have that warm handoff between the Department of Corrections and the community services to help make these people more successful when they return. So Nick's right, that transition period is critical, and we're trying to address it for our veterans coming out of the military. We're also trying to address that for our incarcerated population coming back to the community. So
absolutely,
thank you for recognizing that.
Well, that's awesome, and this definitely sounds like a proactive bill, and for both those. And so I'm excited for that, and thank you so much for all you're doing for our community.
Thank you.
All right, family, that's going to do it for this episode of Buzzworthy Veteran. We want to thank Michele with Operation New Uniform, Nick with Firewatch, and our very own Congressman John Rutherford. I'm your host, Ant Stroud. And remember, always vets, always family. I'll see you next time.